That was freaking sick. Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And we're taking a look at SHINee's Everybody Dance practice. I do know the choreographer is Tony Tessa, and he was the one that was also a part of Sherlock. And so, and I believe it was Dreamgirl too. And I've been very impressed. Out of all the choreographers I've seen, he's impressed me the most in terms of my expectation to what I've seen presented onto SHINee. So I'm very excited to see this. Also, this is one of the most requested dance practices in terms of the SHINee discography on the marathon that I have been looking forward to looking at. And so I think without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and check it out.
안녕하세요, 빛나는 샤인입니다.
저에게 왜 모였습니까? 그렇습니다. 바로 유튜브에서 많은 분들이 저희의 뮤직비디오 영상을 봐주셨기 때문에
감사합니다.
너무너무 감사하기 때문에 저희 안무 영상을 좀 다시 가깝게 또 색다르게 표현을 해서 보여드리기 위해서 모였습니다.
박수.
우와.
저희들 안무의 포인트를 이번에 여러분들께 하나씩 짚어드리고 그리고 처음부터 끝까지 정말 디테일하게 연습실에서
진짜요?
보여드릴 생각인데 포인트 하나씩 얘기해주세요.
일단 저는 이제 맨 처음에 저희가 시작할 때 인트로에서 형부터 시작해서 춤을 추잖아요.
네.
그래서 마지막에 저를 드는데
설마 그 포인트?
그게 처음에 좀 걱정이었어요.
네.
다치진 않을까 했었는데 해볼수록 재밌고 그 부분이 이제 좀 기억이 많이 남는 것 같더라고요.
임팩트가 있죠. 그 부분이 상당히.
사실 그거는 저보다 멤버들이 고생을 많이 하는 것 같네요.
혜민군 그냥 누워있기만 하면 되니까요. 정말 저희들이 혜민군을 집어 던지면서 저희 몸을 집어 던지면서까지 이렇게 혜민군을 생각합니다. 그래요.
또 하나의 포인트가 있습니다. 프로펠러 역할을 맡고 있는 오입니다.
다들 자기 파트 얘기하는 시간이에요?
아니 그럼요. 예. 아주 어깨는 괜찮고요.
네.
네. 프로펠러 역할을 하면서
네.
이 영상에는 제 팔이 보이지 않을 수도 있어요.
팔이 너무 빨라서 정말로 빨라서 헬리콥터를 보면 잘 안 보이잖아요. 거의
어떻게 한번 날아갔어요?
오, 전 봤습니다.
게임 상태예요.
아 진짜요?
네.
다 봤어요.
진짜요?
진짜 팔이 날아가더라고요.
종현 씨는 뭐?
저 같은 경우에는 저의 가장 얼굴이 이 안무의 가장 포인트가 아닌가 싶습니다. 저희 얼굴
네, 그러면 여러분들의 성원에 힘입어 저희가 안무를 공개해드릴 테니까 이제 많이 해주세요. 공개합니다 지금.
이제 바로 보여드릴게요.
자, 갑시다.
Oh, I'm excited. Wow. That point choreo, man. Wow. The level of commitment from all of them is very impressive for that. Yeah. Oh, very smart. Notice Minho, you gotta step down. Yep, he has to balance that right there. I was expecting it to be more gimmicky or like more humorous, but they're doing a fantastic job in terms of the synchronicity of it. Wow. Wow. Makes sense to it with more like the botting because of that wake up, wake up. Ah. Ah, love that. So many hours are going so fast. Clean. Woo! Nice. That was freaking sick. That was amazing. I love this little tidbit here in the beginning of having them all, you know, like showcase what they're doing. Now, I was fully expecting them to be like, you know how sometimes groups have like a zombie version or they have a just different versions that they don't take not as seriously, but the investment's a little different. Does that make sense? Or, you know, like ATEEZ has like 5 different versions of, you know, there's like a cute version, a Halloween version. I was expecting that based on how they were talking about it in the beginning, but I was so surprised. I really like this. I'm trying to think. There was a lot of really interesting gimmicks in it. It did give me pretty ABDC, not gonna lie, in some of their progressions and some of their formations and stuff. But we're gonna go ahead and get into this. Let's do it. So yes, it does vibe more to the popping fundamentals you see here. Some vibration, some botting especially. But now botting and a lot of those subgenres have tailored over into animation. And so it's kind of its own style represented now, which is kind of cool. So he goes, everybody wake up. He says, wake up. And notice this is where the stiffness of movement really helps because of the type of track it is. And the everybody wake up, it's very like robotic, or they're like humans that are robots, or like robots that are trying to be human. That's what it's giving. So the synchronicity is going to be a focal point. You want everybody to look the exact same. That helped here. You also have vibration technique in play. You have the switching, a lot of the running, the speed changes are in play, formations. Everything has to be top tier because of the type of concept you're going for this, right? So I love that everybody kind of helps with each other. Boom, boom, boom. They finish and showcasing different levels, taking through. And I love how he does a little twist of the feet, slowly come up. Walking through a little bit more of like a breaking kind of setup as it comes up, rolls up. I love that movement there. That was super cool. Boom, dropping it down. And side note, they go and they pick him up. Boom. Sounds like the sound was vacuumed out of the space. That was really cool. Also, complete side note, I do know that Onu is the technical leader of SHINee, but I know a lot of people thought Jonghyun was because of, I'm assuming he took on that MC role. He definitely gives that kind of perspective of leader vibes, right? And Onu has more of like a more laid back kind of approach. So that I do know. That's why that really came off in that way. It makes total sense. But they picked him up like it was nothing. Yep, that everybody, full energy here, switching it over, brrr, and brrr. Yeah, for me, when you do have like dubstep integrated as a timbre or tonal color in your track, I'm operating 2024 brain, so we got 2024 dubstep, exposure. I know I'm very much more familiar with it, but I know with this type of track here, some of the choices do feel maybe not overly isolated, but maybe we could have polyrhythmicized it in some way, shape, or form because of the type of track or like the type of part of the sound production is. But having those moments of stillness with just that little finger moving, it helped you see the movement more, even though it was very subtle. So I understand the choices. So I'll put it that way. Swinging it through. Of course, we're going the other way, so it's nice to have it happen on both sides. Great hinge. The range on that, womp, womp, womp. That part was fine. They do end up doing this all together pretty often. I'm considering it a fingerprint. That could have been an add-on. Well, we'll see if it is an add-on if I missed it. An add-on or a ripple, like a ding, 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 like a peel out situation. Like you can take movements that you end up doing the same way every time, maybe different formations. And that's where having dynamics can really help with adding extra or just formation choices. Formation dynamics can allow that to have more breath behind it than just repeating the movement over and over again, depending on your fingerprint. Right. So, but going here into the line, I like that choice to step out, little ding, ding, ding. I'm normally used to seeing people use the chest to step out with it, but they're being very militant with it. But everybody commits to it, and that's why it works. If one person was and everybody else was going a different route, it wouldn't work as well. But it's very conscious the kind of prep work that was done with this. Spacing's just slightly off here. Zhongjian in the center, but nothing crazy. Going through, I love they go boom, boom. Very stiff that boom. Now in this, great opportunity here would be having slow motion in play as they're going boom and then right back into the slow-mo, but also to each their own, that is okay. That's why it feels a bit like we are very still. I love the intention behind it. And it's very much like I'm moving and then I'm going to trigger a cause and effect within the movement, which I think is super cool. That right there, boom. Love having that reverb happening here with Key as they move over. Yep, ding, ding, ding. Yep, it definitely matched the type of track. It's cool. I think that's just one of my overall note. I do have more extensive understanding in analyzing popping choreo than a lot of other choreos, more so than locking. So that's why for me, I do feel personally more comfortable being able to express like types of opportunities that can be taken to even elevate this even further if they so chose. But I do know the era that this is in. I do know this is not 2024. But if we were saying, if this was put into 2024, what could they add to it to really help enhance it and make it age even better? This aged very well, but I can also feel it does give a little bit of that, 2000s, that Michael Jackson clean aesthetic, which works, but for the type of track it does have more of a newer school timbre within it. So you want to have some new school perspective in how you approach it. That's kind of my in general note. Not saying they have to have some viral movements or whatever in it, but whenever you're using certain fundamentals in here, like, a lot of the botting and a lot of reverbs and vibrations, the placements of that was really good. There are some opportunities, however, where they could elevate it to make it feel more complete within the realm of the techniques that they're going for. It does feel a bit like it stalls out a little bit. In just a couple of the moments, but throughout it's still very enjoyable to see though. This right here was a really fun lift. I love that. Great illusion, and I do notice they end up flipping them. Well, yeah, so these two end up lifting my other two later on, so I do like that choice. The lean up, I love that choice. Nice illusion, ding ding, bringing it through. Very clean. Love that, leaning it through. Little snaking action, and when you do snaking, you want to be mindful that you want your head to create the direction, but you want it to stack properly. And that in the case, it does feel like we're just, letting our head direct us in our formation. But if we're going off of having a popping influence, we got to hold it to the popping technical standard. It's just true. In order to maintain the integrity of the fundamentals within choreography, you have to keep that in mind. It's the culture and the authenticity of the presence within it. So for snaking, that is something that they could be more refined, is making sure when they're guiding it, that it's stacking and the rest of the body is properly in fullness going where they need to go. But it is very clean though. I love that ripple. That was nice to see. Spacing's just a smidgen off there. That boom boom. Really love that choice. Notice that I saw this before. I think this is just habits. When I don't think they've ever fixed this habit, because I saw it in the very early stuff of SHINee, is that you have one of them, he has his chest more up and out, and then you have some that have their chest lower and out. And whoa, which one was it? It wasn't Replay. It was it Love Like Oxygen? It could be that. It's a dance one. It's not a live performance. It's a dance, maybe not in the room, But it was a dance practice of some kind or dance version. I just don't remember which one it was, but I remember saying this exact note, and Minho was the one, I think, that had his chest up and everybody was a little bit lower. And then as they came up, the timing was fine. I think it's SHINee that I said this about. Oh, it'd be really weird if I was off. They go in, swing it through. Everybody, this part's fine. Everybody, everybody. Of course, here, because it's the first time we're doing like the focal point choreo, everybody, you know, that part's fine. With a little twinkling, it's different than what we saw from the side, so it's a nice little overlap there. Right there, we see that once again, dee and a ding. We could have seen this a lot more if they looked at it. That's a note. I talk about the psychology of where people look. A lot of times you want to look where they look, especially if I'm like going and doing this. You want to look at what I'm looking at. So they're looking here, but they're looking front for this moment. That's why you don't catch this one as easily as you catch this one. So you could look, if they look down, you would have caught it a lot easier. Yeah, I like that. That was nice to see that there. Hinge once again. That part, that could have been a really cool opportunity, honestly, to make that an add-on. Just my 2 cents on that, because it goes back to what I said. There's a lot of unison in moments where you could use that opportunity to fill up or showcase a different dynamic. And that's a universal concept. That's not a new school concept. You can do that no matter what. Everybody. Yeah, a lot of unison once again. But it's really nice to showcase the cleanliness of it. It's nice to appreciate the synchronicity. It's great. I love that too. Hey, he hits it and it triggers our next. And then I love, this part is really cool. Minho having them, the commitment. Honestly, everybody did a fantastic job of doing this vibration and move over, dropping it down, and how he comes up and how he comes up. And I love that they're all connected. He hits him through, pops him through, the boom, 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 boom. And then it turns into an add-on in the back. Like this is what proves my point of usage of opportunities. This was freaking great. And you notice they have add-ons going on with feature moments on the side. It can happen because we're seeing it right now. So what they could have done in that course that would have made it not feel so unison the whole time, because there's beauty in unison, but you want to be mindful though that sometimes having too much unison can make you not appreciate the beauty of the choreography as much, because you're not allowing me to digest it in different formats, I guess, if that makes sense. So that's why opportunity, a simple add-on, would have really helped enhance it from the first time we saw this choreo. That's my in general note. And because they showcase things like this, we know it's very possible to have applied that. There you go, the commitment there, right there into the add-on once again. He goes, and he goes, and he just goes right there, has him come back on. And I love that he has the opposite pull, allows a really nice tunnel to take place. Super fun to see. Right there, boom, boom, love having that. He goes, dee-dee-dee, nice little personality showcase while also having your feature over on the side. Nice with Onu. Yep. And how he hit this has allowed everybody to kind of pop or like jump off to a new spot. I have to be careful when I say pop here, because I'm not talking about like a pop unless it's the pop fundamental. Like pop means like the accent or like jumping up is what I meant there. Yep, there's that so much. No, there was tension there. I really appreciated that there. And I love how he had his moment. Right here, boom, 2, 3. This part is also fine. I mean, you see it, there's a switch. I mean, Jonghyun did both. And then you have, I think it was Onu was lifting both times, but Taemin switched with Ki though. All of that. And this part, it does, the illusion looks a little bit more clear, because we did see that arm being pulled the first time. There's it. But also I said this before, I appreciate the balance, having this formation set up on the opposite direction, because it does allow us a different, different way to see the choreography. Even if it's just a simple mirror, it is effective. I love that. I like this little and he's looking, so it helps us know where to look, like I said. And then how they all drop, they go. Now that boom boom, notice Taemin did not switch, but everybody switched their feet. And then you have Jonghyun up having his feature. Now this part was a little bit cleaner, notice, with Onu, and that's why. It's because Onu matches the same degree of chest as Minho does, and everybody's a little bit more open. Taemin's still a little bit lower, and I'll say Ki's kind of in the middle in between. So that is why this part looks cleaner than the first time they did it, is because of where their chest is. Everybody. This part, I really do love that. That's what I really love to see. It was mirrored. Also, shout out to Minho. This is a drop. It isn't just like different flooring. It's similar to in Dreamcatcher's case. Like he had to step down to come right back up. And you notice in a quick second, you're gonna notice he has to balance on that corner. So I think that's a really interesting thing there. everybody. Once again, we're in the unison here, which that feels more digestible. Why? Because we didn't have unison in that first 8 count. We had it right here. And so that's why it helped me appreciate this more in unison, because they showed me more complexity by mirroring and showcasing an ambidextrous approach to the type of groove or that we're seeing. That right there. Yeah, he stepped out. Notice he had to hover it. Everybody. That part was really nice to see too. Notice the key didn't quite jump as high as Taemin did, so that'll be my general note. But I do love the level representation of this. Everybody gets to do kind of their own thing, which I like. The little bobbling of the head really helps give that robotic perspective. Yep, ding, 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 ding. Love that triple to be patient. Then switching it through. That really ties in the robotic, like we're getting charged or supercharged. I like that they add this, boom, very polyrhythmic, heel toe, click, 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 click. It's nice. It gives choreotics a little bit for me, which I really like. It's fun. Twisting it down, yeah, dipping it down, and little rotation through. I think that was really fun. Yeah, ding, 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 ding. I don't know if they were trying to syncopate it. Ding, 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 ding. But the triple was, yeah. And that, and then you have that every, then Taemin gets to have his vibes here. It does feel like we are very, very clear in the positions, and I like, and they go move over. For me, with this, this is very simple in terms of what they could do, but I do appreciate we're going with what works. And this works, and it helps me understand robot. Very clear, right? And then having with the ISO, like that little ISO moment from Taemin there. Yeah. I guess if you wanted to present another opportunity, instead of doing this, you could do simple, bringing it through, bringing it up, just different variants within, not just this, just bringing it and making it like you're running, but also doesn't bother me because it is fingerprinted throughout and they're showcasing it in a different way in formations and in dynamics. And that's why it doesn't bother me as much as, let's say, this move does. We always see this move in a unison. We don't see it as an add-on. We don't see it as a ripple or a peel out. We always see it in unison. And that's why my note for that one still remains the same, but it's different here because they vary it through where they are in the positions. Yeah, and they rotated it to the front. 1, 2. That required 1, 2, 3, 4. Love usage of the chest. I think it's important to use the chest through that as well. Turning it through. This part does remind me of what is it? Like I Am Me a little bit. I love this part where everybody's very clear to drop their hands. You have that. They're building it out. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, yeah, definitely. It gave me off that kind of energy and the shapes being built. Yeah, that click, 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 click. Really love seeing that. Yeah, boom. They're building it up really well. Yeah, and then you have the rotation of the hands in the back that really helps that, even though they're hitting the boom, boom, boom. So it's very polyrhythmic. The group's doing a good job. Lean. It's like boom, like a jetpack. I love that. That's cool. Yeah, that's a Michael moment. Now, a lot of people like Taemin really gives off Michael. A lot of it has to do with who he was trained by. Rino Nakasone, Tony Testa, Devin Jameson, Misha Gabriel, Nick Bass. All of those cater because Justin Timberlake, a lot of them have overlaps with artists that have major influence from Michael Jackson in terms of the perspective of movement that they have. So it would be weird if Taemin did not have those fingerprints of his movement quality. He probably admires Michael Jackson as well. I don't know that. I don't know the members that personally in that sense of like knowing those types of facts. So all that to say, though, it is really cool to be able to see this and be able to see that integrated and implicitly registered on Taemin as an artist. I already have a Facts and Fiction video that I do plan on looking at from Facts and Fiction. They recommended it, which is really fun, of Taemin in regards to just movement analysis. And that's probably going to be something that's brought up for sure. And he does a really good job with popping because, I mean, some of the Michael's influence does stem a little bit from just the funk era and all that comes with it. So I am excited to get into that when the time comes, but I have a lot of Taemin to watch, a lot of SHINee to watch in the meantime before I take a look at that. But that my note is still what it is though. Like Taemin's done a really good job of at least showcasing the inspiration of Michael But my excitement in this is being able to see Taemin mature as he gets older, because he's still really young here. Mature and be Taemin, right? Be his own artist with inspiration from Michael, not replication of Michael tendencies. And that's the tricky thing a lot of times when you see like an obvious James Brown influence. Sometimes on a funk track, it kind of feels like we're replicating James Brown. We're not feeling it within ourselves. Go-Go Brothers is a fabulous example of they are the entity of the funk, you know? So that's just my, like, in general note. I'm excited to see Taemin mature through the Michael influence and not make it look so blatant of Michael, right? Like impersonator. Like, you don't want to give that. And he's not giving that, but it is showing symptoms of it. Yeah, which is nice though. Everybody, now that part was fine because you still have a feature and everybody is accenting in that way. So that part was better. Everybody, everybody, everybody. I love that too. That boom boom, how they go June June. That was really clean. Love that. Spacing just a smidgen off over on stage, right? Turning it through, everybody. Yeah. Once again, see kind of that repeated kind of situation. That could be an also really great opportunity that's always been done in unison. Change it up, add on it, peel it, ripple it, do something. Hinge was nice, I would say, with Taemin. His hinge is phenomenal. Jonghyun's was a little bit more restricted. You can see that here more so than the first time because Taemin was in front and you approached how he did it and you looked at everybody else peripherally. Here you see Jonghyun and you see Taemin peripherally and he catches your eye a little bit more. And also you can tell they're really leaning over here. They're not quite. It could just be a preference choice, but we do have a subtle gap here. So it need to be, everybody needs to lean over. So it's that really nice clean. But that was just a little note with Jonghyun. But I know there's a good chance he's pulling a Jongho. Like with ATEEZ, well, he was first, right? But like ATEEZ with Jongho, he does make concessions in the dance practice space. A lot of times due to the injury, but also because to cater it to whenever he has to sing live. So I understand that as well. Yep. Everybody, everybody. That was nice for Onu to have his moment. They all dropped down. Great feature moment for him. Right in the beginning, we saw that really nice dance break. Yes, they did cut it. It doesn't bother me at all. I don't really care about that as much. Because they've already shown competency in one takes. Like if this was the first time, I was like, oh, I wish, you know. But I'm okay with them. They made the cut so they can really showcase this at its best in the dance practice. And this was like a thank you too. It wasn't like a standard practice still at this time, which is nice. Seeing this here, ding, 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 building it up. Notice the head. Some of them, they move it over at the last second. Some move while the hands are moving. So that'd be something to just factor in. Bringing it through. Boom. Do-do-do-do-do. We saw this not in the forefront like we're seeing it now. We saw it earlier whenever Minho was like making everybody wake up and have that surge of energy. And they added this as part of that choreography of the add-on. So that's where I caught it there. But it's nice to see it in unison here because it was showcased differently before. And then having everybody switch. I love that part. Ding, 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 ding. I like that choice too. That right there, that was really fun for him to do that right in the middle of all of it. Really nice surprise, and it tailors into that whole jitteriness that was happening earlier when you have that autotune. Everybody. Bringing it through, great. The range on this is amazing. I really love their fullness in this. He goes, he brings it back. That was more jerking. He didn't quite tick or dime stop it or strobe it. It was just, he just jerked it, but used tension of the muscles to do that. They wave. And they go boom. They go goodbye, everybody. And they all drop. Wake up. Got it. It's cool. So honestly, this is probably, if I were to give, when it comes to all of Tony Testa's choreos, is this one of my favorite Tony Testa choreo? I think I like Dream Girl the most out of his, just because of the creativity of the mic stands. You don't see that as often, and it's such a logistic nightmare. It is. And so I think we really got to see him shine on that logistics front here. I think because we're teetering onto popping, like a lot of popping fundamentals, and Tony, I think, doesn't quite, there's not a lot of like, I feel like there's some missed opportunities in the format of this one in comparison to the other Tony Testa ones that I've seen. Not saying that it's bad. It's still really, really well done, and I really like it. But that's just my in general note because I'm way more familiar with this movement quality in a choreographic context than I am with some other styles, hence why I'm able to provide more feedback in that regard. But I really, really like this one, and it's probably going to end up being one of my favorites because of the investment of performance, a lot of the gimmicks that were in play, the creativity of the lifts, as well as the cleanliness of it. This is one of their cleanest routines I have seen in terms of fullness of energy and matching that. Definitely enjoyed this one a lot. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. If you want to see more SHINee, I have it all on YouTube, but I have all of it on Patreon. Over time, as SHINee has comebacks or soloists have comebacks, I release a certain number of older SHINee reactions. And I've just been really enjoying my journey with them so far. Not only understanding them as a group, but understanding the choreographers they've worked with over the years, because it helps us be able to understand them as soloists whenever they have this implicit movement quality, as well as just the overall presence and performance of what they bring to the table as a group and as individuals. So I've been thoroughly enjoying my time with them, like I've been saying, and I'm excited to continue to tackle more iconic routines from them without really actually ever seeing them before. I've never really seen this. I've heard the song, but I can't wait to continue on this journey. It's going to be wonderful. Once again, I am Jess. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.